Irashaimase. Hello and welcome to Fataris' Kitchen. I'm your host, Chef Fataris. It's time once again for Shoot 'em Up Saturday. And on the menu this week, we're doing something a little bit special. This marks the 500th Shoot 'em Up Saturday video. So on the menu, we have my 5 favorite Super Nintendo Shoot 'em Ups. What kind of taste will they have? Let's get cooking and find out. For me personally, the Super Nintendo's library of shoot 'em ups has always been special. It's where I found my true love of the genre. It has a lot of great shoot 'em ups, and even to this day there are several that I still haven't played. But this list represents my 5 favorites from that era. So without further ado, let's get cooking. This list will be presented in release date order. So leading off, we have Gradius III from August 1991. A port of the 1989 arcade original, Gradius III would be the first shoot 'em up that I played on the Super Nintendo. I was already a fan of the series, having played Gradius and Life Force on the NES, but Gradius III just took that love to a whole new level. Right off the bat, having that weapon selection available, whether you could select any of the presets or the whole weapon edit, which I absolutely love that customization, really set the game apart. Then you have that first stage with the whole intro section leading into the awesome graphics of that sand area. Yes, the game does have its technical problems with all the slowdown, especially the second stage and beyond. If you get too powerful, even your shots will slow the screen down. But with all that said, with that great weapon selection system, those awesome graphics, even flawed though the system may have been, an incredible soundtrack, and that core Gradius gameplay, Gradius 3 is always going to be a title that finds itself at the top of my list for shoot 'em ups in general, and especially for the Super Nintendo. Next, from September of 1991, we have UN Squadron, or Area 88 as it was known in Japan. Another arcade port, UN Squadron's Super Nintendo port took the original arcade title and added and changed so many different features, it almost feels like a different game from the original arcade version. In the original arcade version, when you selected your pilot, they would be associated with a particular plane. However, in the Super Nintendo version, that's no longer the case. You have this awesome plane selection where you'll use the money earned from defeating enemies and completing stages to unlock additional planes, each with their own abilities and loadouts. Then you'd buy the special weapons and use those to complete the stages. On this awesome map where you no longer have stages in a particular order, but you could technically challenge stages in different order if you wanted. There are also these moving stages where if they get to the base Area 88, then you have to prioritize defeating those first. All these different systems make Area 88 a truly awesome experience with some really good replayability, and to this day it's one that I'll play through whenever I have the opportunity. It was one that the Nintendo Power preview for the Super Nintendo titles made me really interested in, and when I did finally play it, I was not disappointed. From September of 1992, we have Axelay. In my opinion, one of the best shoot 'em ups on the Super Nintendo. Axelay mixes these horizontal scrolling stages that are well crafted with these beautiful vertical scrolling stages with a unique scrolling background that uses the Super Nintendo's Mode 7 to great effect. The game also has this awesome weapon selection system where you have 3 weapons you select at the beginning of the stage, and as the game progresses you unlock additional weapons to choose from. Although, in my personal opinion, some of the starting weapons you have are some of the best you'll have in the entire game, and I'll use those ones even up to the final stages. But that's one of the things that I love about this game, is with that great weapon selection, you can customize the run to whatever you like. In addition to that, and this is another theme that's really common among all these shoot 'em ups, it has an incredible soundtrack that just makes every stage feel much more special. Though it is a little short with only 6 stages, each one carries such an impact. This is another one that I do find myself returning to time and time again. Next, from March of 1993, we have Star Fox, the first title to use Nintendo's Super FX chip. This was a title that when I first saw, I was blown away by. Those polygonal graphics from that first launch sequence into the Battle of Corneria and beyond were something that left a huge impact on me from that point on. I couldn't believe what I was seeing on the Super Nintendo. In addition to that, I feel that this is definitely one of the more finely crafted rail shooters. It does have some of the flaws of the particular genre, however, this one was so well done that you could overlook a lot of that. You also have the great route selection, adding in tons of replayability, the various secrets with the black hole and the alternate ending that you can get in that game. Really went and set this one apart, and for me it was a title that I would play time and time again, almost every day, jumping in, and even if it was just a short run through the black hole and Venom to defeat Andross, I would make sure I completed a run basically daily. Star Fox will always be a favorite title of mine, and even if sometimes I've given some of its sequels a bit of a harsh review, it's a series I do really love, and I'll continue to come back and play this one once more, time and time again. And last, from August of 1994, we have R-Type 3. Blast off and strike the evil Bido Empire. So this would be my first deep dive into the R-Type franchise. I'd played previous R-Type titles, R-Type and Super R-Type. However, I hadn't really played a lot of those titles when I was first introduced to R-Type 3, and boy did I just love this game. So, as like a common thread you might have noticed, one of the things that I really enjoy in a good shoot 'em up from this era in particular is when you have some customization, some selection, and being able to choose your force at the beginning of the game was really exciting to me as it changed up the gameplay, and each one of the forces in that one felt unique and changed the way that the game behaved, at least in my opinion. In addition to that, I love the graphics that this particular title has, from that starting launch sequence to the various kinds of Mode 7 and even the first boss battle that you encounter. That whole first stage really sets the tone of the game itself. Then past that, the game does ramp up substantially in difficulty, but it's manageable with forgiving checkpoints and an infinite continue system that allows you to continually improve yourself and ultimately get to the end of the game and win this really satisfying shoot 'em up. R-Type 3 helped blossom my love of that particular franchise, and although it's a challenging title, I definitely think it's a fun, unique experience to dive into on the Super Nintendo. And there you have it, my 5 favorite Super Nintendo shoot 'em ups served up for your enjoyment. As always, I want to thank you so much for joining us this week, And I also want to say thank you for joining me for any other episodes of Shoot 'em Up Saturday you've watched. Getting to episode 500 is definitely something special to me, and for all of you who've been along for this journey, I want to say thank you. As far as your favorite shoot 'em ups for the Super Nintendo are concerned, I would definitely love to hear those as well, so if you have some thoughts that way, definitely leave them in the comments below. With all that said, I want to thank you again so much for being here this week. I hope you have a wonderful week yourself, and we look forward to seeing you again next time.